Whoa! Ah! Oh my god. Okay, we're good? Okay. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Just general welcome. My name is Asia. I'm a 25-year-old knitter from the East Coast of the US, and this is my knitting podcast. My goal was to try to do these like on the same date of every month, but that would have meant that this podcast would have been up on August 1st, and it's now August 14th, so I'm a little late. But it was really busy. I had a conference the first week of August, and today I was going to a trade show in New York, so I've been very busy, but I have been knitting, which is good. So I did get a couple more things done. I have some content for this video. Again, it's not a ton because I am kind of slow, so I hope that's okay and we're all okay with like low-key minimal like objects being shared. But I do try to be very intentional with what I start. Try to be being the key phrase there. So there won't ever really be a time where there's like I'm showing you a ton of whips at once, because I try to like work on like one or two things at a time, even though I have like some long-standing whips. But anyway, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. Hopefully this will have good enough content. If you have watched the first podcast and you're watching this one, you're probably thinking that my background looks a bit different, and it does, because this is my room. I was in my living room the first time, but this is my room, so the setup's a little different. I'm on the floor. This is my shelf, so we're in a little bit of a different setting today. Brighter, which is nice. So all right, so let's get started. So finish objects. I actually do have something crazy, right? Okay, so I don't know, should I show it first and then give the backstory? I guess. Okay, so this is my finished object. So cute. It's a little baby tee. This yarn is absolutely gorgeous and stunning, and the camera, no matter how close I get to the camera, it is not going to do the colors justice. This yarn is gorgeous. I'm gonna try to show you. There's a lot of color changing, it shifts. It's just like, stop it, it's so cute. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I just recently started working at my local yarn store, so that's been really exciting. And I did a few shifts before I started this, and this yarn was literally calling to me, staring at me, telling me to get it. And I was like, okay, fine, I will cave in and I will buy it. So I did. I bought one skein at first, and it obviously was not enough to finish what I was trying to do, as I so foolishly thought. So I had to buy a second, so I have a little left over, and I'm excited to do something with it. But this is the La Bien-Aimée in Amy's Sweater. It's the DK. Is it Merino DK? Wait, I have kept it. Okay, yes, Merino DK, 100% superwash merino, and the color Amy's Sweater. And I really just want to make something quick and easy, and this is actually just like a free-handed raglan. It's really just simple. It's a one-stitch raglan. I just did a 1x1 rib cast on for the neck. It does look a little square, but I haven't blocked it, and if I do, I feel like it'll probably look a little rounder. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't have any plans on blocking this. I tried it on and I really like the way it fits right now, so I'm not gonna change it. So yeah, it's just a one-stitch raglan. The sleeves are 1x1 cast off, so is the hem. If you're looking a little closely, right, like at the sleeve, see that line right there? So I started knitting this project on, I think, 8s. It's a US 8, it's a 5mm needle. And I didn't change my needle size at all for the entire project, or so I thought, because when I was done with the body, I cast off the body and I picked up for my sleeves, and I just like went into my little notions bag and picked out 2, because I have the interchangeables. So when I switched to the shorter cord, I just picked up 2 and I put it in and started knitting with it. And it wasn't until oh my, what was that? Sorry, there's things going on in my building. It wasn't until I was literally casting off from my second sleeve that I was like, oh shit, this is the wrong needle size. So I picked up and I knit like literally just 6 centimeters plus ribbing in a US 9. So it's the next needle size up. So, I mean, if no one's really looking closely, you can't really tell. It does give the sleeves a little like fluttery effect almost, which I think is really pretty. Like when it's on, the sleeves look a little bit capped, which I think is cute. I feel like if you're not a knitter, you're not really gonna notice that. I wore the shirt around 3 people and nobody said anything, so I think it's fine. But yeah, this was very quick. I finished it. I started and finished it all in all, like on and off, about 2-ish weeks. But even then, that was just because sometimes I was like being lazy. But it's so cute. I love it. And this, I wanted to do one more project before the summer ended, just like something cute to wear. So I'm glad I was able to finish this and just like whip it up. It's really, really pretty. I'm excited to still wear this come September because it'll still be warm enough yet cool enough to wear it. So yeah, that was really exciting. And I actually think that when I rejoined in the yarns, the color pooling, like it didn't come out bad. Like I think it actually looks pretty steady. So I really like that. So I didn't have to like alternate skeins or anything, which was really nice. So that is my finished object. So I have 2 whips. One is a whip that I have had for a long time and I'm really trying to finish it before it starts to get cold because I really want to wear it. So I haven't showed this, but I've had this project laying around sitting for a while. This is the Stockholm Slipover by Petite Knit. It's just a simple vest. Oh, this yarn smells yummy. So I'm knitting mine in a very sweet light blue. The yarn that I'm using is Juniper Moon Farms Harriet yarn. It is baby alpaca. I think it's 100% baby alpaca. I don't have the, oh my god. Okay. We're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. I'm gonna have to find a way to cut that out. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Anyway, this is, I think it's 100% baby alpaca. It's really soft and just like so awesome. This pattern is very easy. I would say it's a really beginner friendly pattern, and I'm pretty much like, we're heading towards the finish line. The only thing that I have to do is do the ribbing, and I don't know why. I don't know why I did this. This is my beginning of round, if you can see right here, and I just started like knitting again, and I didn't want to do that. Like I wanted to start the ribbing, so I have to like undo those stitches and start doing the ribbing because it's definitely long enough, at least to the length that I want it. I tried it on and I'm like, okay, it's ready. Like I can do the ribbing now. So this is one whip that I'm doing. I'm really excited to finish this because it's going to go with all of my clothes and all of my jeans, and it's gonna be really nice. It's warm, but I feel like it's light enough where I'm not gonna be really, really hot in it, even if I'm wearing a shirt underneath. So I'm excited to finish this. I love the color, like I love the yarn, and I think that this is gonna be a good fall staple. So yeah, the only thing I have to do after the ribbing is do the pick up for the neck and for the armholes. Looking at this now, like this is the size small, and I think I actually said this the other day. I feel like with Petite Knit's patterns, I'm gonna start knitting in the extra small because I do love an oversized garment, and I know she knits a lot of her clothes to be oversized, but I feel like, and usually I knit the small, and I feel like generally it's fine, but for something like this, I feel like I could have done with an extra small. I think when it's finished and I put it on, I'm not gonna mind how it looks, like as the size small, I think it's gonna look fine. But like when I look at these armholes, I'm like, these are so large, and I don't know that it looks like that on her, but like, I don't know, again, like it's not really gonna bother me if it, as long as it looks okay when I put it on, it's like fine. And it did. When I tried it on, I was like, oh, okay, this doesn't look crazy, because the armhole ends like literally right where it's supposed to, like right there. So I'm not really worried, especially once I get the ribbing on. But yeah, it was just like, it was just something that I noticed. I'm like, I think I can do okay with knitting the extra small just so that things like fit a little bit better. But I also don't mind if things are oversized. I guess for the sweaters, definitely, I don't really care. Like I've knitted three actually petite knit sweater patterns. The first one I did was the novice sweater, which fits perfectly, and that's in a size small. I knit the Louisiana sweater, which I also did in a size small, and it also fits great. So I kind of like, I trust it. I don't know. I feel like with certain pattern makers, you don't really have to go through a phase where you're like, okay, I just need to trust the process. Like usually when I'm doing petite knit, I don't really have to question it. I just do it and it's finished and it looks amazing. But this one I was kind of like, I don't know. But I think it'll be fine. I guess that's me having my first like, I don't know, can I really trust the process moment with petite knit? But I trust her. I mean, there's a reason why everybody knits her patterns, because they're very reliable. So I'm okay. I think I trust her. Okay. And the next whip that I have is this little thing. You're probably like, what is that? It's a sock. I am trying, this is my first, well, it's not my first sock. Okay, it's my first sock on 9-inch circulars. I have knit, let me rephrase that. I have started to knit a sock on DPNs. That is literally almost done. The only thing I have to do, like the cuff's done, the ankle part is done, the heel flap is done, but I have to kind of like start on the foot part. And I think it's just so tedious and annoying. Like I know people are like, oh, I love knitting socks, it's so easy. I cannot. Like I would rather knit like a sweater than to knit a sock. It is so difficult for me to understand. I don't know why, but it's just kind of like those things where it's like the simple things are harder to get and the harder things are easier to get. I don't know. It's really confusing to me. So I started knitting this because I was like, maybe it'll be easier if I'm working in the round, then maybe I won't get as confused when it comes to the heel flap and everything. And then working towards the toe. So I started this yarn is just like, I think it's Patton's sock yarn. It's like self-striping yarn. I just got it from Michael's like a really long time ago, and I was just trying to work through my stash, and I was like, okay, great, I have sock yarn, let me try to make a pair of socks. So I bought these circulars, and yeah, I've literally only done like 4 rounds of ribbing, so this is really not like a very exciting whip. I just started it. If anybody has any tips on like how to really get motivated or like get excited about knitting socks, I would love to hear it, because I also like am a crazy impulsive buyer, and so I bought the 52 Weeks of Socks book before I even knew how to make socks, because I thought, okay, that's gonna make me want to do it, right? Like I have all these patterns, it's gonna make me really like excited to knit socks. And then I could care less. It's literally right here. It's been sitting there forever because I don't care about it. So I'm trying to like really get into doing this because it's easy. It's so tiny and small and like quick, you know? Like it's quicker than like finishing something large, like an actual garment. Also, the only thing with socks is like you gotta knit too, you know? It's like when you're done with one sleeve on a sweater and you're like, yay, I'm finished. And it's like, well, you're not, because you have to do it all over again. So I mean, that's a whole other issue, but yeah, that's my story with socks. I don't know. I can't, I don't get excited when I think about socks. Like I get excited when I think about wearing sweaters, and also like even knit pants. Like I would love to knit a pair of pants, but then I look at a sock and I'm like, I don't really want to do that. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to like change my outlook on it and then I'll get excited, but I don't know. I'm not really excited about the sock. It's just something that I'm doing because I also like, it's 3 rows of ribbing and I started that like 3 months ago and I just let it sit there. So I'm really actively trying to finish my works in progress. So yeah. So those are my only 2 active whips. Last time I was working on cardigan number 8, which I still kind of am, but I took a break from it because I was just going through so much with the double knitted button band. I was like, I need to put this down. I can't look at it right now. So I am still working on that. Don't worry. That should be finished soon because I really want to get that done so I can wear it. I'm just looking at a pile of like other whips that I have, And I'm like, do I want to show them? Like, I guess it could be exciting. Okay, well, but I'm just like, these aren't like active whips, I guess. I mean, this one kind of is. It's also a mess, so just give me a second to figure out what's happening. Okay, well, you can't really see it, but this is a shawl. This is a shawl. The reason why I can't like stretch it out is because I'm literally in the middle of a row. I'm in the middle of a row and I needed the needle, so I took them off. So that's why I can't really like open it. But like, oh my God, this looks crazy and horrible. Anyway, this is a shawl. I'll show it to you from this side so it looks less bad. This is just a triangular shawl. The pattern that I'm using is from Pearl Soho. I think it's just called like the triangle garter wrap or something like that. You're supposed to use 3 colors for it, but I'm actually only using 2. I'm using this Knitted Wit DK. I think the color is White-tailed Kite? White-tailed Bird? I think it's White-tailed Kite. And then I'm double stranding this La Bien-Aimée sock yarn. I don't know the color. Please don't ask me. I have no idea. I don't keep, this is like another problematic trait. I don't really keep a lot of the ball bands, which is so bad because I really need to remember what I'm using. But anyway, so I'm just double stranding that. So what you're supposed to do is like do these stripes at the top. Like you're supposed to knit solid for a while and then start to do stripes. But the pattern, like you're supposed to alternate colors. But since I'm only using 2 colors, I am only doing like 2 rows of the main color and then 2 rows of the contrast color. This is from my grandma. My grandma asked me to knit her something for her birthday back in February, like 2 years ago. And now I'm finally getting around to it. So this probably will be done for her by Christmas, or like at least by her next birthday. So if she gets it for Christmas, then I can just say I'm giving it to her early because she wanted it for her birthday, but Christmas is 2 months before. So we can say that. But yeah, I am still working on that. It's just, I really need to switch the cord because I have a longer cord that I bought just for this project so that I could really stretch out and see what I was doing. It's a really easy pattern. It doesn't take much effort or thought at all. It's literally just you knit one, you do an increase. I think it's a KFB. I think that's what I've been doing. Knit all the way across, do another KFB, and then you knit one. Or you slip one? Do you slip? Yes. I think you're slipping on the end. You're doing a slip stitch. So it's very simple. And it's really fun because it's like just a lot of increasing, like you're just doing a lot of KFBs. But I think at a certain point, like you're obviously supposed to stop and then, you know, cast off. But yeah, I don't bring this project anywhere. Like it has to be worked on at home because all of the yarn, as you just saw, gets tangled up so easily, and it's so like insane to try to separate and fix. So I just don't bring it anywhere. She's like, I'm like ashamed to bring her out of the house. She doesn't really need to go anywhere. And then the next whip I have, oh boy, this is a history. Okay, so again, impulsive buyer. So I have a lot of the Pom Pom quarterly magazines, which I love, and I love looking at them and just like having them in my room. And then one day I was like, okay, like I should really use these because there are patterns in here. Like I paid for this and I have access to these patterns, so I should really make one. So I decided that I wanted to try a color work project because I had never done color work before. I haven't finished it, so I can't really say like I've done color work because like I'm not done. I mean, like the majority of the color work is done, but anyway. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, color work. So I wanted to do a color work project, and I picked the Pink Noise pullover by, wait, I can tell you in a second. I can tell you because it's right here. This is the Rhythm issue, by the way. So it's the Pink Noise pullover by Adela Dutra. I believe that's how you say that person's name. And it looks like this. So, like, I just can't. I love this so much. I'm so proud of it. Please look at the floats on the inside. So cool. Like, this is like freaking amazing. So I had to restart this 3 times. It was a lot, like, to do, to start, because I had never done it before, and I also am not used to reading patterns out of a book. It's just so weird, like, reading patterns in print than it is digitally, and I don't know why. Does anybody else feel like that? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but and I also kind of do like patterns by the same makers, so because this is someone different, I was just like, whoa, like it was a lot to get used to. So I had to restart it 3 times. That was not to the error of the pattern, it was to my error of lack of knowledge and understanding. And you can kind of tell where I messed up a little bit right here with this part of the raglan, because I don't know if you can see, there's just like an extra stitch of color work in there. That's the only error that I have now at this point, but before, like, it was, I had to rip everything back twice. And it was a lot, and I got really frustrated, and then I was like, you know what, like, just let's take a breath and come back to it and then do it. And I got through the yoke and it was amazing. I love the baubles, they're so cute. Killed my hands, but it's okay. And so basically what I have to do now is obviously finish the body, because this is not really sweater length, right? So I originally bought these 2 yarns to use for my grandma's shawl project. And then I was like, no, actually, I love this purple. I want to keep it. So I'm going to do something with it. And I didn't have enough, right? Because the quantity that I bought initially was also not enough for the shawl even. And I just like jumped the gun and bought it. And that was when I was just being like really frivolous with my purchases. So whatever, I didn't have enough. And now the yarn store that I work at does not carry this yarn anymore. So I was trying to find people who I knew from Knitting Circle and just people who I knew who knit. Like, does anybody have any extra of this yarn? That's why this is not done, because I don't have the yarn for it. And I'm so scared to order it online because the dye lot is going to be different. And if it's like obnoxiously different, like I'm gonna get really scared. So someone who I know was helpful, and she gave me what she had, which was this is all she had left. This little ball is what I had left. Like, this is the remaining of mine, and then this is hers. So obviously not enough to finish the body and 2 sleeves, but it's better than nothing. So my plan for this is to order another scan online, and hopefully I can really make it with just one. I don't want to have to buy 2. So I'm going to order another scan online. I'm going to finish the body with that, which will probably just take me like down enough to the ribbing, and then I'll stop, and then I'll use the new skein for the ribbing and the sleeves. I'm praying and crossing my fingers and my toes and my eyes that the color is not too different, because I mean, like, it's just for me. So if it's different, it's not like a huge deal, but it's just gonna be like, I put in all this work and now like my sweater is two-toned, like, and it's not supposed to be, especially because I have to pick up for the sleeves and continue. So I don't know, somebody told me, and they were like, why don't you just do the cuffs and the hem in the alternate color if it's different? And I'm like, yeah, but I still need to finish the sleeves and everything. So I don't know, I kind of like get sad whenever I look at this project. Even though I love it so much, I'm just like, I don't know what it's gonna end up looking like, but that's a problem for when it gets finished. But anyway, the yarn that I'm using for this is Ancient Arts Yarns Lascaux, it's French, worsted. This is the color Kismet, and the only reason why I remember that is because I literally had to look everywhere for it before I found it online. And then the contrast color is Madeline Tosh DK in Star Scatter. Love Madeline Tosh, worship that brand, so good. And I have just enough to finish the color work on the sleeves, because in the picture, I'll actually show you, it goes down onto the sleeves and then you make more baubles, which I might opt out of. I don't know, like, I have to see how much I have, and also if I really want to do baubles again, because it was so killer on my hands, and I already have like kind of weak hands from gripping my pen really hard and everything, and so I have to do a lot of like reconfiguring with my hands with knitting. So the baubles, I don't know. I mean, that's like I might not. She might just have to opt out of that, but anyways. So yeah, those are two more of my whips that are kind of like on the back burner right now. Trust me, I have a couple more. We're not going to get into that, but whatever. So okay, I think that takes us to the end of the knitting portion of this video. So I was saying last time, like, I didn't really know what to do at the end, if I should do like recommendations or just regular conversation or whatever. But I actually think that I will talk about books because I am a bookseller. I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video, but I do work at a bookstore. And I was just away for 4 days at a bookseller conference where I had access to many, many free books and many not free books that I bought anyway. So, unfortunately, I didn't do any reading on the trip like I had planned because we drove. It was in Arlington in Virginia, and we drove down there, but I was playing on my Switch the entire time, on the entire way there, and then I slept on the way back. So I didn't do any reading on the trip, but I did get a bunch of new books, and one book that I read, just finished actually the other day, that I bought is called Glaciers by Alexis Smith. It's like 110 pages. It's a very, very small book, but it is very beautiful, beautifully written, beautiful prose. It takes place over the course of a day, and it's really just about a woman finding a postcard that has Amsterdam on the front of it, and she's from Alaska, so it has a lot of like parallels between her childhood and her adulthood. It has a little bit of romance in it, a lot of family dynamics. It was very good. And if you're a fast reader, you can really finish it in a day. And if you're not a fast reader, you can finish it in a few days because it's really, really short. So that was a good book that I bought. I bought a lot of books. They're actually back there. That's where I keep all my books, so I don't want to get up and get them. But I'm really excited to start on a new one. Oh wait, I have a book in my bag. Okay, so this is another book that I bought. It's called New Animal by Ella Baxter. This is by a publishing house called $2 Radio. If you've never heard of them, you really should look into them because they have amazing publications and great writers and such interesting content. This is fiction, but every other book that I read by this publishing house has been nonfiction. If anybody is familiar with a book by Hanif Abdurraqib called They Can't Kill Us Till They Kill Us, it's an essay collection about music, but also and pop culture, but also about personal narrative. It's a great book. I recommend it all the time. I love him. He's a brilliant author. And there is also another book that I read a few years ago by this publication called History of My Brief Body by Billy Ray Belcourt, which was also very beautiful. It made me cry, and I love that book so much. And I think I gave it to somebody to borrow, and I never got it back, which I'm starting to learn the lesson of, like, don't give your books to people because they're not going to return them to you. Which you would think, like, all the years I've been reading and lending out books, I would know that, but I just, like, can't do that anymore because nobody ever brings them back. So I only give books to other readers, like my coworkers, because I know they're going to give them back to me. Plus, I'm seeing them every day, so I can harass them to be like, where's my book? Don't keep it. I want that back. Unless I don't, then I'll say I don't want it back. But anyway, derailing. So I'm going to start reading this soon. This is also a pretty short book. It's only like 150 something pages, which is really like all I can do at the moment. Normally in the wintertime, I can stand to read longer books, but for summer, I just can't. There's too much going on. So yeah, those are two book recommendations. I'm not really watching anything on TV. I don't watch TV, so I'm just rewatching Pretty Little Liars for like the 7 millionth time. I do a rewatch of that show every single year. It's like horrible TV, but it was such a big part of like my high school experience, and I love it. And I literally just put it on like whenever I'm knitting or doing something where I just need background noise, I put it on because I've already seen it so many times. So this is just the time of the year where I do my rewatch, so I'm doing that. But I don't really watch a lot of TV, so I can't really give any TV recommendations. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can recommend that I've been loving lately. I don't know. I feel like music is so subjective, it's hard to recommend music, but Carly Rae Jepsen's new album is really good. If anybody loves pop music, get into that if you haven't heard it already. And yeah, I think that's probably it. So that brings us to the conclusion of this video. I feel like I had a better ending this time than last time because I actually had something to say at the end. But thank you for watching. If you stayed all the way to the end, I try not to make these videos really long because I too have a short attention span, even though I actually love long knitting podcast videos, but some people might not, so I'll try to keep these short. Hopefully by the next time you see me, I will have more finished things, and one of them better be the Stockholm slipover because literally what's going on, girl? Finish that. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this type of content, please leave me a comment. I love reading them, and I want to start replying, but I feel like it's so like dumb to be like, oh, thanks. Like if someone's like, I loved your video, just be like, thanks all the time. So I'm expressing my thank yous here. And I do really love reading comments. If you guys have tips or suggestions or recommendations on literally anything, I would love to hear about it. I love to talk to people, so feel free to say anything you want. Anything nice. Don't say anything mean, but say anything you want. And yeah, I think that's it. So hopefully next time I'll have more things finished and new things to show you, which will be really exciting. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.